It said broadcast ended. Well,
It says we're live.
all right.
Okay.
Well, here we go. Mm-hmm.
All right, beautiful people, come on in. Come on in. We have a treat for you guys. While we wait for people to come in, we want to introduce
Ability Lush.
Coming to
Allow me
iTunes.
to introduce to you
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Those darn technical issues. I tell you. Here we go. We'll do refresh.
Yeah. Sabrina
Hey, Sabrina. Oh, one of our guests from London, all the way from London.
Ability Lush.
Hey, boy. Hey, Sabrina.
Allow me to introduce to you a more innovative global adventure, filled with friendly and courteous, yet as luxuriantly the world has much more to offer in the comfort of your own home. Not even in a pandemic such as this could stop this brand from emerging. Fueled by twin synergy, creative minds to flow and follow their aspirations. These two queens in the middle of their night, of their quest to redefine their God-given mission to use hospitality virtually as a vehicle to break down walls between racial and ethnic groups in hopes of creating empathy, understanding, and kindness in the world. Two sisters straddling two cultures, father, mother, West African, American, merge to influence their brand of hospitality, Urbanity Lush. The whole Black girl magic experience, Black and global, feels like home third culture, queening a brand that is already being noticed, celebrated with a pitch to win, Philly on the map for innovative hospitality. Allow me to interrupt an everyday look of what true hospitality is. Let it not limit your minds into thinking that all it's good for is a warm and inviting place where travelers from all over the way lay up to rest in for a stay, but rather to explore human curiosities of urban cultures, environments, and native foods internationally across the globe. All in an effort to change the hearts and minds that we are all the same fundamentally. There is no other in Urbanity Lush. Just you, and me, I, and we. Urbanity Lush hospitality understands all too well the need for meaningful connections that welcome the spirit of community building, the spirit that invites travelers to let down their guard and be their authentic self, safe from harm and at home with oneself. Hospitality plays no small role within the community. Its primary focus is to invite, educate, and entertain visitors. A divine exchange, if you will, and also glorious nod to a higher call of love for the stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, Urbanity Lush is the virtual community displaying the lusciousness of all the beauty in the world, unplugged through the lives of those who cultivated, navigated, natives, refugees, through stories, politics, breaking bread, and mighty networks. So come and become part of our community, made for the cultural connoisseurs, cultural novelists, and for the love of all things hospitality. Urbanity Lush.
All right, beautiful people. You guys are sleeping tonight, I see. So if you're catching a replay of this, really quickly, my name is Miss Lola O, and this is my twin sister,
Ty O.
and we are your favorite Airbnb hosts and the co-founders of Urbanity Lush, a curated community for culture connoisseurs, travelers, and lovers of all things hospitality. So we have a great lineup for you guys tonight. We have a special guest on tonight. So if you guys have been following us, you know that we just wrapped up our Bphl
Oh my gosh.
cookie experience,
It was
anti-Asian
awesome.
hate cookie experience. And we just had so much fun. It was so creative. We've gotten such great feedback. I think the festival in and of itself was just amazing to be there. This is our second year.
Yep.
Last year, what did we do?
Last year, we interviewed a few leading personalities in the hospitality industry.
Mhm.
We had a great interview. It was fun. We had a designer on, a doctor on, and someone who kind of like curates small hospitality brands. So it was pretty,
Yeah,
it was pretty epic.
Yeah. They dropped some really good information as far as like how to travel during a pandemic, right? Because we all know that travel has fundamentally changed because of the COVID. So I don't know if you guys can catch that, but if you guys did not catch Wednesday night, you missed out. I want to thank our guest, Nikki, for coming out and being a part of that experience. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in and introduce our beautiful guest. But before we do that, we want to share, why is Nikki on here? Why are we interviewing Nikki?
So we are interviewing Nikki because, let's see, we have something awesome lined up that she created. Let's get that in the view. Nikki is on here because she is actually our contest winner. We issued a contest. We commissioned our guests who were in the audience to come up with a cookie logo using basic pastry tools, paint, brush, and a cookie surface as their canvas. And they had to make sure that they came up with something that was innovative and creative, and then posted to their social media platforms with the hashtag Urbanity Lush and hashtag GetPotluckDE. And whoever had the most likes by last night, October the 2nd, they would be the winner, and their logo would be planted on cookies that are going to be sold at the Pastry Shop at the Walnut Hill College, the restaurant school at Walnut Hill College here in West Philadelphia. And so Nikki is tonight's winner. She put all of her graphic design skills into her cookie design. And so there's no doubt that you would come on top.
I know it's kind of not even fair, but
right.
I won't mention that.
So, but you know what? I'm curious. I want to say this out loud. How many likes did this design get?
I'm pretty sure 175.
Hey,
all right. So we got some people out there.
You had a little competition. Well, no, not really. There was some competition, but nothing. No one got close to 175. So thank you for participating, for showing up for the Asian American community. We really appreciate that. So can we just go ahead and kind of share really briefly who you are with our audience, and what brought you to our experience?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Alexandria, Virginia, about 10 minutes outside of DC. And I came to Philly to go to Temple University, where I'm now a senior advertising major, studying art direction and copywriting, as well as tourism and hospitality management.
So, wow. Okay. So you can school us. Okay. We're going to have a conversation after this interview. Okay.
Awesome.
Of course. Yeah.
So aligned with
yes,
love it.
Yeah, so I was volunteering through Temple at the Innovation Fest it was last week, and I sat on this event, and I was so happy and fortunate to have came. I was a little enticed by hearing cookies, so
always the draw. So was this your first year volunteering at Bphl?
Sorry, I'm getting a call. Yes, that was my first year volunteering.
Okay, awesome. What did you think of the festival in and of itself?
I thought they did a very beautiful job putting together like everything, like the merchandise table, and like the windows were beautiful with the artwork. So it was a lot of effort that was put into that, and I thought it definitely
you guys did a job. Michelle, shout out to Michelle. You know who you are. She really helped us get our experience up and running. So it was just an amazing experience. We did get to my highlight, other than our experience, was listening in on Eve's interview with Power 99 yesterday. Eve is a hip hop artist, rapper from Rough Riders, and she no longer raps, but she's just special to my heart. She's a Philadelphia native, so it was really cool to sit in on that interview. So yeah, awesome. But enough about me. All right, what about so you want to ask Nikki our first question?
Yeah, so you were in person at the Stop the Asian Hate experience that was hosted by Urbanity Lush and Get Potluck. And we wanted to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway in terms of how to show up as an ally to the anti-Asian hate movement? What would you say to that?
So for one, I loved hearing the stories that were shared over in that whole experience. I'm a storyteller myself, so I love to speak from my personal experiences. But a huge way, I think, to be an ally and to just continue to just support the movements such as these is through online, through like the way that even just posting my cookie, it got a lot of shares, it got a lot of like people talking about it. And so just by, sharing to, social media, it gets a bigger reach and, spreads powerful messages.
Yes, I definitely think people think that they have to do something big or grand to ally with the various movements out there. And it really is, simple, making a post, following up with that post, even being as far as, being creative, like you did, and you can even create an event, right, around whatever movement that you're passionate about to get people talking about it and get people active around that particular issue. So
absolutely. If I could add, I think if we would steer away from being afraid of like not getting likes, because usually when you're supporting something, you just want to get the word out there and not worry about the likes. You're trying to spread a message about something that's important. So go ahead and make those posts, be creative, and people will be drawn. Like the cookie, is what drew you.
Yeah, it's such a lighthearted topic, and who doesn't like cookies? So I think it's a very, very good way to show like activism and protest and all that.
Really cool. Awesome. So what did you enjoy most about the experience?
So I am an artist. I do graphic design, as I mentioned. So I definitely loved getting creative, and I've never decorated cookies with the materials that were provided in that way before. So I definitely enjoyed that aspect of the experience a lot.
Yes.
As well as eating the cookies.
I know 3 days later.
Yeah.
A little stale, but we're still munching on them. Yeah. Jasmine Cho, who was our featured special guest, and who's a cookie activist, portrait activist. She did an amazing job elevating her story as an Asian American, and then leading the audience in a creation of a portrait of Grace Lee Boggs. And we just want to thank her again. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah. I'm so happy to have her come through. So tell us, so you're next. I'm taking your question.
I just wanted to add too, I feel like the way she kind of walked us through the process of making the cookie, it was so accessible, so friendly, you know what I mean? Maker friendly. And I think that kind of took some of the
intimidation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, oh wow, I could do this with I'm an art teacher. So yay to artists and art teachers and art educators. And I was like, wow, I can do this with my students and expose them to also the same message of the stories of the Asian community.
Yeah.
But I do want to slide into this next question. Please do tell us about your logo and what inspired the design. What's the story behind it? Would you also mind if I pull the design back up?
You can kind of walk us through what you were thinking.
All right, let's get this back up.
It's such a beautiful logo. I'm like, I was actually rooting for your logo. To be honest.
Like, wow.
Yay.
Okay, here we go. So tell us what inspired this design.
Yeah. So when I was tasked with this project, I immediately, my mind went to the protests that bring communities together in so many different ways. So I've been a part of like women's marches, Black Lives Matter, Pride events, just anything to like bring people together in a community and like inclusivity. mainly. So I thought it'd be a good idea to show someone holding up a poster with Stop Asian Hate in protest. So that was a little inspiration behind about the logo. Yeah.
It's simple but very powerful, because all of us can probably think back on the time when we first made our first protest flyer, right?
Yeah.
I was in college, right? And I can't remember I think it had something to do with education, because I was really passionate about urban education reform. And I think I was probably like a junior in college. And I remember meeting with my classmates and we getting on the floor and creating a poster together and going and marching. And then this summer, last 2020, when the George Floyd incident happened, we were able to do the same thing. So I definitely think that this is emblematic. Yeah, there you go. Just the traditions that we go through, right? We do to help to support any mission that we're passionate about.
Yeah, I think mine was a little bit more in depth. I did a lot of dance creation in school, so I remember kind of spreading the light on the Cambodian refugee issues in the country, and was intentional about being a part of this one choreography. And we took that choreography to the stage. We made everybody aware. So it was more so than like just a simple poster. It was more of a process.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely remember getting involved and being passionate about spreading that message. So
wow.
You gonna say something, Nikki?
Oh, I was just going to add on to what you guys are saying about how like making the posters is also such a big part of it. Just getting creative and finding unique ways to use your voice is super, super highlighted in this project as well.
Absolutely.
I agree. So as a brand, we're really big on cultural immersive travel that is highly personal and impactful. So, we love traveling for vacation and things of that nature, but we really are a brand that's focused on how individual cultures impact us individually, right? And really personally implanting ourselves in cultures and communities that are unlike our own, so that we can learn from them, right? So I just wanted to ask you the question: when was the time that you travel abroad and you really immersed yourself into a community that was unlike yours, and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, so I'll actually touch on when I went to the Cayman Islands with my Puerto Rican side of the family.
Hey.
We went for a week. It was my first vacation, being 18 as well. So I ended up meeting a bunch of locals that were in our Airbnb area, and they were all camping on the beaches for Easter. So I ended up seeing a bunch of families, and like they invited us back to their campsite. And what was cool is that my best friend just so happened to also be on a cruise ship coming into the Cayman Islands.
Oh, wow.
She was getting like the tourist experience and like just hearing about how they would do this over Easter as a tradition. And it was really cool that I was actually experiencing it, and they were, bringing us in and just kind of teaching us a little bit about their culture and their traditions. So I thought that was a very, very beautiful memory that I have and will never forget about.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Those are the kind of memories that will stick with us, because we have a lived experience, as opposed to, like you said, hearing it in the story book or having it be replayed to us by video or by stage. We actually experience the culture. So
yeah. And just to tag team off of that, I definitely think it's those experiences that really help to break down those cultural and racial barriers, which is the goal. One of our goals as a brand, really creating warm and welcoming spaces where people can really let their guard down and really discover other people's cultures. And I think that was a great example of you doing that. So I want to applaud you for doing that, because a lot of people, they're afraid to insert themselves completely in another person's culture, but you learn so much about yourself, and the next time you engage that culture, you have a point of reference, right? And you feel like you feel a sense of home, right? So we encourage you to continue to do that. We love it. We love it. So that, I think that was the end of our, those are the end of our interview questions. We want to thank you so much, Nikki, again, for coming on, for participating in our anti-Asian hate cookie experience and contest. We really appreciate just your energy and your passion and ultimately your design. We're going to be in contact with you shortly to kind of let you know what's next as far as your cookies being featured. Where are they going to be featured again?
Your cookie design is going to be featured on about 500 cookies, right?
Well, that's the hope.
Somewhere between 300 and 500 cookies, right?
Yeah, that's our goal.
At the Pastry Shop at the Walnut Hill School over here in West Philadelphia. That is super exciting. I'm going to have to be careful with my sweet tooth. You know how that goes.
Yeah, she might eat all the cookies.
Eat too many anyway.
Yeah.
But so that's going to be happening starting October, what is it? The
12th
through the 21st.
So you only have 2 weeks to go out. So Nikki, share with all your friends and family. You have 12th to 21st to go to the restaurant school at Walnut Hill College, their pastry shop, and purchase your anti-aging hate cookie. So hopefully we can. And the good thing about the cookie, the sales of the cookies, that $1 of every cookie sold is going to go to one of our other organizations that we featured in our experience, Asian Americans United.
Absolutely.
So they're on the front lines every year since 1985. Working to highlight and elevate the Asian American culture and community and really push back on anti-Asian hate in our society. So we want to be able to gift them with a large amount of money. So go out, support. This is how you can partner with the anti-Asian hate movement.
If you're willing, you can even reach out to the school, to the pastry shop. If you're from abroad or you're not in the area, reach out to them and ask them to send you a shipment of cookies. Look, get creative, okay? Let's push these cookies. It is a wonderful purpose and cause that we are getting behind. And we're just so thankful again for Nikki for your design. And we're excited.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys gave me the opportunity to be a part of this as well. So,
thank you.
I'm going to share that cookie one more time.
Okay. And you guys are welcome to follow up again or on our social media platforms. That's Urbanity Lush on IG and Facebook.
And there it is.
All righty. All right, Nikki. Thank you again so much, and we'll be in contact.
All right. Jimmy's going to say bye to you real quick.
Bye, Jimmy.
All right, take
we have to have some play dates pretty soon with our kittens.
Oh yeah. All right.
Buddy and Bella.
Yes. All right, take care.